Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new Tiny Tina's Wonderlands video. Today I am showcasing my build that I've made. This build is absolutely incredible guys. It melts mobs, it melts bosses even faster. I would highly recommend it if you can to go and make this right now. So, starting off with the basics guys, it is a Stabomanta spell shot hybrid. Mainly the skill points are put into the spell shot category. I'll explain all the skills guys, you can see them on screen. And I'm also showing off my weapons, but I'll explain those in a little bit. So first of all guys, the Stabomanta class, I'll go through that first. So I'm not using any of the skills from there. I'm only using some of the perks obviously. So first of all guys, I've got Arsenal maxed out at 5 for 5. This increases 15% melee damage, 15% spell damage, and 15% gun damage. The melee damage is a nice little bonus, but what we're really looking for here guys is the spell damage and the gun damage. This build is heavily focused around using your gun and your spell in combination to make the most maximum output of damage that you can. And trust me guys, the gameplay that you'll see in the background, it just shows how good this build is. I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow nerf this, but I'll tell you guys about that in a bit. Moving on from the Arsenal skill guys, we're going to the Potent Poisons. This increases status effect duration by 40% and status effect damage by 20%. This is just a little bit of an extra one. Mainly the spell shot skill trees where we're trying to go guys, so a couple of extra points have been splashed in about here and there. So if you want to chop and change a couple of things, you definitely can, and one of them I'd recommend chopping and changing is your Potent Poisons. Moving on to the last skill that is being put into the Stabomanta class is Exploit Their Weakness. Whenever the Fate Maker applies a status effect to an enemy, the affected enemy takes 6% increased damage from all sources for its duration, and it can stack. That's it for the Stabomanta class guys. Seriously, we are mainly focusing on this spell shot tree. We mainly have everything maxed out on the spell shot. This is where the good stuff comes. First of all guys, going to your skill, you need to be using Ambidextrous. This is paramount. If you're not using it guys, this build will not work anywhere near as efficiently as it does, and I'll explain a little bit more on that later guys. First of all, looking at the Spell Sniper class, 60% spell critical hit chance. Really nice. We're looking at spell damage, so this is definitely going to help us. Alrighty guys, moving across to the right of your Spell Sniper skill, we have Magic Bullets, which increases gun damage by 45% of spell damage. Again, I'll give you a little bit of a hint to what we're doing later, but we are using high damage spells here guys. Really important. Okay, moving down the tree guys, we are going to Font of Mana. 20% spell cooldown rate, very important, as well as the 15% action skill cooldown rate. What we're doing with this class guys is we're using spells that have high damage, but we want to make sure that we're able to proc them over and over again. So keeping that cooldown rate as high as possible is really important while making sure that we can keep on ticking them over again and again and again. Next to that guys, Mage Armor. Whenever the Fate Maker gains a stack of Spell Weaving, a portion of their ward is received. Now Spell Weaving guys is when you cast a spell or you reload a weapon, you get a stack of Spell Weaving. This also increases spell damage, but obviously they do decay after a bit. On top of this guys, to make that even better, we are using Glass Cannon. This is an interesting one guys. The Fate Maker no longer automatically recharges their ward, but they gain 30% spell damage. Again, so you're basically sacrificing your ward for a one-time use. Until then, once that's done, you're on to health, but you get 30% spell damage. Really important for this build guys. Moving along, we are going with Imbued Weapon, 5 out of 5 on this. Whenever the Fate Maker casts a spell, their guns deal 10% bonus damage of that spell's element for 8 seconds. This does stack, really important. Moving on, we are going with High Thread Count. Really easy one, this one. Moving on guys, we're going High Thread Count. Moving on guys, we're going High Thread Count. Really simple one here, we're increasing our max spell weaving stacks. Warcaster. Now this one for me personally was one that I wanted to chuck in some extra points. So if you wanted an extra 4 points guys to put stuff where you want to, this is another one that I'd recommend chopping and changing. Whenever the Fate Maker kills an enemy, there's a chance that the gun gets reloaded automatically. And if you've got more spell weaving stacks, this increases. So it's really nice just to keep going with the reloading and the momentum of your gun. So obviously if you're doing a boss, if you can get this reload chance to proc over and over again, you can melt him in a lot less time. Nearly done with the skill tree, guys. Moving down, we've got 3 out of 3 on Double Knot. Whenever the Fate Maker scores a critical hit with a spell, they deal 21% bonus gun damage of their gun's element. Really important again for our spell damage and obviously bonus gun damage. 1 slot, 1 kill, 4% gun damage per spell weaving stack. This is a no-brainer. Moving on to the last one here, guys. Sever the Thread. Gun critical hits have a plus 15% chance to instantly reset spell cooldowns. Does have a 5-second cooldown itself. Guys, if you're going to be doing this, you need to get this first. This is your main priority. Being able to use your spell over and over and over again makes this build so much better. Alrighty guys, so I've just given you an overview of the skill trees. Now let me explain what the methodology is behind this. Alrighty guys, so when using this spell and Stabbomancer class, what we're really looking for, guys, is high gun damage, high spell damage, and really fast spell cooldown. On top of that, guys, we're also looking to make sure that our critical hits with our guns and our spells are as powerful as possible. When you're aiming for those critical spot, guys, this class shines an extra level above everything else, I promise. So, for the guns, I'm using 2. That is it, guys. You can use 2 guns extra. It's anything you want, but these 2 are really important for me. I'm using a random purple black powder pistol. Now, the important bits about this, guys, is making sure that you have one that has multiple bullets. If you do not have a black powder pistol with multiple bullets, it will work, but it's not going to be as effective, and let me explain why. Guys, your critical hit damage is so much higher with this class. The multiple bullets allows you to hit multiple crits at the same time. On top of this, that could also mean when you hit a gun critical chance, you might instantly reset your spell cooldowns. Okay, so really important that those work in tandem together. On top of that, guys, this can be used in any class you want. The Ice Cryo 4x bullet Dahlia SMGs are ridiculous. They have an insane damage output, their fire rate is as big as it gets, and again, guys, multiple bullets for multiple crits. Alrighty guys, let's move along to our next bit. When you're using this class, you need to be using the Buffmeister of Unrelenting. The Buffmeister of Unrelenting, guys, needs to be used in tandem with your Ambihextrous. When putting your Buffmeister of Unrelenting in the right slot, okay, of the 2 spells you're allowed, you actually get a glitch that was back in Borderlands 2. What happens, guys, is the spell damage of the left spell is increased and added on to the buff that the Buffmeister of Unrelenting gives. This lets you put out insane damage, guys. It is ridiculous. The only reason that I'm allowed to melt bosses as fast as I am is using the Buffmeister of Unrelenting. Guys, you need one. In this gameplay, I'm actually using one that's like level 8 or like level 12. You can literally, it does 20 damage. You can use anything you want, but your left spell needs to be one that does an insane amount of damage. So the higher damage on that left spell, the better this is going to work. On top of this, guys, I'm using 2 relics, 2 rings that are increasing my cooldown rate. The ward is a personal choice for me. So obviously, like we said before, guys, when you're using this spell shot class, if you are going to use the skill that means your shield's depleted and does not automatically regen, I would highly recommend you use this shield. Okay, so the shield for me is the Last Gasp. There's a lot of different variants of it, but this one's really, really important. So when your ward is depleted, you gain 25% fire rate, 20% reload speed, and your regen ammo as a little bonus. On top of that, guys, you can also get extra little add-ons like maximum health and chance to absorb bullets. Because you're going to have a ward that's pretty much always depleted, you might as well gain an extra bonus from it. So you can use a bit of a weaker shield like the Last Gasp, and you can benefit from the broken ward. On top of that, guys, all I'm using in my relic class is just something that gives you extra damage and extra gun handling. You can really change, chop and change it however you want. Going into the class mod, guys, I am using the Warlock's Warped Paradigm of Dread Clarity. The main part of this, guys, is it does boost some of your spell shot skills, and you also get plus 30% gun critical hit chance, which is really important because we always want to be hitting critical hits. Alrighty, guys, I think that just about covers the class of Stabbomancer / Spell Shot. This class, guys, it melts bosses, it melts mobs. You need to be using this while it lasts, guys. I can't see this really going anywhere anytime soon, but in case it does, guys, use this class so that you can get your speedrun kills on your bosses and you can melt pretty much anything. Guys, currently in the gameplay, I am on Chaos Rank 5. I've now boosted myself up to 20. I'm really just using the exact same stuff, guys. The equipment barely changes at all because it's so good where it is. Levels really don't matter for most of the gear, guys. Obviously, it's nice to make sure that you're on level, but if you're using the spell shot skills, guys, you will be absolutely fine. Alrighty, guys, that wraps us up for this video. I really hope you do enjoy this class build. Guys, I'm looking to put out some more Tiny Tina's Wonderlands gameplay and tutorials and content. If there's anything you want me to cover, guys, please leave it in the comments below. I will reply to each and every single comment, guys. I'm looking to build a little community of you guys. Based on the last video where I went through my XP farm of how I got to level 40, you guys really seem to enjoy that. So, hopefully you can show the same support on this video. If you do enjoy, guys, leave a like, subscribe, and I will be back very, very soon. Thank you.